So this go around, we'll be looking at Jim Jeffries Freedumb. Now, I've looked at a couple of things from Jim Jeffries before, most notably his bit on gun control here in the U.S. and, well, apparently my opinion not lining up with a lot of other people's. It's just the comment section was a war ground. So I don't know what this is going to be based off of or what it's about, but I have a feeling with the whole Donald Trump hair that's right here at the beginning and with the eagle and stuff like that, I have a feeling it's going to be one of those ones that's going to be funny with his unique take on things and something that might piss other people off. I don't know. I just get that feeling. But regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at it, shall we?
And then they always say this, and this fucking spins me out. Well, I don't expect an Australian to understand freedom.
Oh, Lord. Okay, yeah, so we do have a lot of people here that think we're the only country that knows what the hell freedom is, but because the irony is so many things have been stripped from us as Americans. It's just kind of gone unnoticed. A lot of it before, but especially since the Patriot Act was invoked by George Washington, dumbass, George Bush, and then extended under Obama, and further extended and renamed under Trump. What are you going to do? And folks, taking like use Google only to back up their own opinion on things and not to take and actually learn about anything else. So, yeah. Funny how that works, ain't it?
What are you talking about? You constantly say freedom all the time. Like oh, we're so free, we fight for freedom, freedom, freedom. Come to the Freedom Lounge at the airport. Like, fucking what? You know when you're singing the national anthem at the baseball and the person holds the note free for a little bit longer than they should until all you Americans fucking come in your pants? For the land of the free. We're so free.
There's some that are definitely like that, but for a lot of folks nowadays, that's the for them the opportunity to get their snacks and stuff like that from the vending, or not from the vending, but the concessions.
Freedom this, freedom that, free, free, free. Now, I hate to break it to you because I don't think many of you know this. There are 92 free countries on the planet. Democratic free countries. You are one of them. Every single English-speaking country on earth is free, and most of the countries are also free.
I love the clicks right there.
Now, you're very free. Don't get upset. And I love America, I truly do. I live here and I love it. I have nothing against it. And none of the things I'm about to mention affect me in any way, right? You may not be the freest place on earth.
I love how he stepped back. You tell the average American that's got no sense of what's going on with the rest of the world or how the rest of the world is, and a lot of them will probably take and give you a look that make you want to step back that way. Bro.
Just a quick example, out of the 92 free countries on the planet, you have the highest rate of incarceration. 1% of your adult population is in prison. That's double that of the country that comes in second, which is South Africa. And if you've ever been to South Africa's fucked. So you're double that of South Africa. So statistically, in the land of the free, you have the least amount of free people. Now, this is a super simple one. Super simple argument.
Okay, to be honest with you, he's not wrong on that. As far as like we got the highest incarceration rate. But like, you're smarter than that. Stop using low hanging fruit. Give better examples, which I have a feeling he's about to do.
Holland, you can smoke weed whilst fucking a hooker in front of a cop. How dare Holland not be called the land of the free? Do you honestly think you're competing with Holland? In Canada, just last year, they legalized assisted suicide for the sick, which I believe is the biggest freedom of them all. It's your life. No government, no religious group should ever tell you when you get to check out. If you're a pro-life person, good. Do it with your life, not mine. Right? Now, and also, I don't think they've thought about it. I don't think there's even the most evangelical Christian who's a burn victim, just like hanging onto life support in a hospital, just, I feel so free. And I'm so glad they're doing it in Canada, because if I ever had an assisted suicide, I wanted to be a Canadian doctor. I want some guy rocking up to my house like, okay, you're ready then. So I hear that someone's given up on life, eh? All right, let me just set up my little death machine here, and I'm gonna put this in your vein, and you're gonna be so sleepy so soon, I tell you what there. In Australia, maybe 20 years ago, maybe 20, they legalized prostitution. They thought it would be the downfall of our society, but it really wasn't. It was a great thing. Like in Sydney, where I grew up, the streets always had hookers walking around everywhere. There was needles, and it was a very seedy city in some parts, you know. And then what they did was they legalized prostitution. They moved all the hookers into brothels. And because they moved into brothels, all the girls had to be tested for STDs. And then the guys, they could see the tests as they go in, so it was safer for the men, but it was also safer for the women, because what they did was they put security in these brothels. So if you showed up like a drunk idiot, they wouldn't let you in.
There go the pimps and stuff like that.
They'd kick you the fuck out. So the girls were safer, the men were safer. Human trafficking was all but eliminated, and tax revenue went up, and the divorce rate dropped by 8%. There is no downside to legalized prostitution. Now, in America...
Dude, that is... Yeah, that first one with the incarceration rate, like I said, that's probably the lowest hanging fruit he could have used. Like, that's just a gimme. I understand him using it. But stuff like this, the examples he's just given, fantastic examples. At one point in time, it was semi-legal in Las Vegas. I think it still might be, because I know there's still the Bunny Ranch there or something like that. There's still like some kind of like, it's a brothel of some sort. But prostitution is legalized. I think they've cracked down on it some, maybe. But yeah, it's there's a world of stuff that other countries have actually legalized that, number one, free up the justice systems there, but also number two, there's things that happen within that, like there's ripple effects that happen that actually improve society in numerous ways, at least in that aspect of the people that partake in that type of stuff, regardless if you want to agree with that or not. That's not, that's whatever, but yeah, brothels with the security and stuff like that having to be tested. Well, there's rates of disease going down right there, because if somebody gets a disease, well, you're gonna have to either get that taken care of or you're out of there, and nobody's gonna want to take and go and be able to look at the papers basically like you would if you were buying a racehorse or something like that. Oh no, you got a bad hoof or something, basically the equivalent of that. No, don't want this, oh, chlamydia. Ugh. How long ago was that? Was it fully cleared? Having that right there, again, for the person that's wanting to come in and do it, but also having the security, so, number one, the women get paid because you're going to the brothel. Number two, they don't get roughed up because these women taking and doing it on the streets. A lot of drug use and stuff like that around. A lot of these women that are taken advantage of and raped and beat and stuff like that. So you know, get rid of the riffraff. So yeah, yeah, it's interesting, but also with the fact that prostitution and weed, at least because you're talking about what Amsterdam there, with the decriminalization of everything, it being legal to smoke. Yeah, I mean it's stuff like that that I'm sure contributes to lowering the amount of incarcerations and giving your citizens the ability to think for themselves instead of being like we're here, uh, daddy government.
Prostitution is illegal unless you film it. How is that possible? How the fuck is that possible? How do you have the biggest porn industry in the world and you still have illegal prostitution? Because it is legal to pay a woman for sex, but your friend Dave has to be in the corner with a camera. And Dave has to film it. And Dave has to promise to put it on the internet, because if Dave doesn't put it on the internet, then a crime has been committed. And that girl can be 18 years old. And then she can be surrounded by 10 men that she barely knows. And they can all jack off onto her face until she's glazed with cum. And no crime has been committed.
That's bro. He's 100% right on that. I mean, if you want to sell pussy or dick, you should be able to take and sell your pussy or your dick. It's a, it's a business. It's a transaction.
But in America, and only in America, she's too young to have a beer. If anyone deserves a beer,
it's her.
In the land of the free, the home of the brave, it's the girl with 10 loads of cum in her face. In fact, if you have 10 loads of cum in your face, you should get free drinks wherever you go. You seem like a fun girl. Or a heavy sleeper.
Or a heavy sleeper. Yo. All right. Yes. Funny, but wow. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It's the crazy part. He's not wrong whatsoever. And there's more stuff, oddly enough, that he could have went into. Like this type of thing right here for me, it could launch me into a whole diatribe because, to be honest with you, I don't really talk politics on here. I try my best not to, but surprise, surprise, I'm a very freaking political person. It's just, I piss off everybody with my stances on a lot of stuff because it doesn't exactly line up here and it doesn't exactly line up there and it doesn't exactly line up here. But it's, but I don't go into it that much because this would be my safe space, basically. I don't have to take and wonder about get pissed off at the different things that are going on in this country that are absolutely fucking insane. We have lost our minds in this country. We've absolutely lost our minds. The world's laughing at us, and for good reason. On numerous fronts. So, that being said, I enjoyed this. I thoroughly enjoyed this. He's 100% right. It's funny, it's well thought out. Like I said, he used a low hanging fruit there with the incarceration rate. But his examples and the reasoning, at least his comedic reasons behind them, he's right. He's right. So I enjoyed this. Hope y'all enjoy it. Y'all be good to each other. Love yourselves. Peace.